Hi, my name is Scott Ramsay, and I'm the pastor of Lewinsville Presbyterian Church, and I am so glad that you're participating in this series on the great ends of the church as they are articulated by the Presbyterian Church USA. The great ends of the church are six. There's the proclamation of the gospel for the salvation of humankind, the shelter, nurture, and spiritual fellowship of the children of God, the maintenance of divine worship, the preservation of the truth, the promotion of social righteousness, and the exhibition of the kingdom of heaven to the world. The fifth great end of the church is the promotion of social righteousness. And the fifth great end of the church flows from the first four. The word righteousness is one of the great words of the Bible. It is primarily used to describe God, so that above everyone and everything else, God is the righteous one. Psalm 89 sings to God, saying, "Righteousness and justice are the foundation of your throne, O God. Steadfast love and faithfulness go before you." But it is also the case that God's people are called to reflect God's glory, which means that we are called to lives of righteousness ourselves. The 23rd Psalm says that the Lord leads me in paths of righteousness for the sake of God's name. So we are called to walk in paths of righteousness, and God helps us to do this. But the word righteousness can be a little bit of a tricky word because our pursuit of righteousness can very easily lead us into self-righteousness, where we think that we have somehow made ourselves superior to other people, better than other people because we are so righteous. And goodness knows we do not need any more self-righteousness in our world. Righteousness at its heart has to do with being in right relationship with others, right relationship with God, right relationship with ourselves. When our relationships are good and healthy and honest, we will be living in righteousness. Another way that the word righteousness can sometimes become tricky is that we may be tempted to think of righteousness as something that is only about us as individuals. Am I righteous? Our society and our world lead us in very individualistic ways where we are mainly concerned with ourselves. And that is where this fifth great end of the church is so helpful, because at our best, the church has always known that we are in this together. Righteousness is not only about whether I am personally in right relationship with other people, with God, and with myself in my life, although our faith is always going to express itself in our personal lives. But righteousness also has to do with right relationships between different groups of people, relationships of mutuality, mutual love and respect, being attentive to issues of power, being mindful of historical relationships between groups, and where those relationships have been unequal in the past, exploring what impact those inequities in the past have in the present, and what God might be calling us to do about them now. There is a shared, collective, communal call to respond to the needs of poverty and injustice, to be attentive to issues of race and class, to move close to those who are on the margins of society, and not simply to do that as individuals, but to do that as a community and to do that collectively. Rachel Young, the associate pastor at Clear Lake Presbyterian Church in Houston, has written about the interrelationship between individual righteousness and social righteousness. And she says that for our local congregation to be expansive and effective in the promotion of social righteousness, each member has to take individual responsibility for the call to justice, righteousness, and peace. So, individual righteousness and social righteousness support each other. How does God want us to structure and arrange our communities and our societies together? How can we promote the flourishing of all people, especially those who are currently under-resourced and socially vulnerable? How can the church promote good and right relationships in the wider society, within the church itself, all while equipping and nurturing individuals to live with God's righteousness in their own individual lives? These are the kinds of questions that the fifth great end of the church calls us to engage. May God bless you, your congregation, and all of us as we pursue the great ends of the church.